Even Perisic to Barcelona is currently making Barcelona fans grumble, and I know this is majorly because of the age. Yes, we are a family, or we are a team that clamors majorly for age, for longevity, X, Y, and Z. I know. But the truth is, there are some things that I would want us to consider when signing Perisic, and we need to consider his quality, we need to consider his role, we need to consider his versatility, and most importantly, we need to consider his salary. Yes, I know Perisic right now is 36 years old. He's old, he looks like he's not in his prime yet. But this is a player that still scored for Croatia against France in the Nations League. And this is a player that for PSV, he had a fantastic Champions League campaign for PSV. Now, I want you guys to forget about the fact that he's 36 years old and focus on the fact that at this age, at 36, he's still producing, he's still being explosive, he's still giving mind-boggling results. Now, even Perisic is a player that knows how to deliver stellar and dangerous crosses with both foot. Both feet, yes, I said both. He knows how to deliver dangerous crosses, and this is something that he does with or without dribbling the opponent. He makes sure, or he still endeavors to deliver stellar, crazy, dangerous crosses. Another thing is he's still very dangerous at set pieces. Now, what I'm trying to do here now is I'm not trying to say that he's entirely good, but I just want us to focus on the plus side of signing Ivan Perisic. See, for someone his age, for someone at the age of Ivan Perisic, he is still a hard worker. He's still a hard worker, and one of his strengths as a footballer, or let me say, one of his strengths in his footballing skills is his ability to complete. He has this urge for completeness. Even Perisic he can track back. He presses. He knows how to cover track. He knows how to cover the ground rather. And the funny thing is, despite his age, he's still in an elite physical shape. I mean, we've all seen Perisic, we've all seen how he looks, and I'm sure. And one thing I want you guys to always remember is Hansi Flick would not do anything that would harm the squad. Hansi Flick would not do anything that would harm the team. At this point at this point in time, what we need currently is squad depth, and it's free. And then I know we have a big game player in Barcelona in Rafinha. Ivan Perisic is another big game player. Apart from the fact that he scored and assisted uh, versus England, for Croatia versus England in World Cup semi-finals in 2018, he also scored twice for PSV in the Champions League knockouts to help them defeat Juventus. Now, this is a player that will show up for you when it actually matters. This is a player that will turn up for you when you actually know when you actually need him to really really turn up. Now, he still has he still has a kind of mentality that wins games for you. He has a kind of mentality that takes you or that takes you to the next level that you desire or that you deserve as a team, as a squad. He's not just a player that knows, he's not just he's experienced and he also knows how to win. Now, this is the kind of player that can serve as a role model to our boys in the dressing room, that can influence their thinking, that can influence their thoughts, that can influence their mindset. Not to mention, he won the treble with Hansi Flick in Bayern Munich. So playing under Hansi, the beautiful thing again is that he gets to even fit in to our squad perfectly. Perfectly. He's also a player that can play as a left winger. He can play as a right winger. He can play as a fullback. He can. There are games that will play, and they will be like, Yamal is not supposed to play. He needs to get some rest. Like I always say, this is the player that can actually give us the squad depth that we so desire. This is the player that, like I said, he can play as a left winger. He can play as a right winger. He can play as a fullback. Now, intense squad depth. He's so versatile that he can feel into any position. He can feel any area that we want him to feel. His signing at the end of the day does not even stop us from signing other players. It doesn't stop us from going for another left winger. It doesn't stop us from going for another fullback like we're wanting. All right. But the thing is, this is a player that is willing to join Barcelona. He's going to arrive for free. And guess what he's willing to do just to join Barcelona? He's willing to cut down his salary cost just to join Barcelona. So if you ask me, I think it's a smart move for Barcelona to sign Perisic at this point in time. So I don't seem to understand the issue with I don't seem to understand the issue with fans. I don't seem to understand the issue fans are having with us signing Perisic. Like I said, he's arriving for free and he's willing and ready to make a sacrifice of reducing his salary just to join Barcelona. And he's not even blocking future. He's not blocking any move to Barcelona. He's willing. He doesn't disturb us. He doesn't stop us from making other signings. See, for a group of fans that were so particular about age, longevity, everything, I understand if we don't want him. But the truth is, if Perisic was actually 25 years old and he played the way he played this season, amassing over 30 goals and assists for PSV this season, and Barcelona or Hansi Flick is planning or intends to sign him for the sake of our squad depth. I'm sure a lot of fans, I'm sure a lot of coolers would not have problem with it. I know the major problem is still about his age at the end of the day. But I mean, if we get to have him for 1 year, 2 years, he's coming for free. We don't have to give him, he doesn't have to take all the salary in the world. His salary is not going to be that huge. Come on. Come on. Or maybe there is something else that I'm missing. There is something you guys are seeing that I, as a person, I'm not seeing. So please, if you're against Barcelona signing Perisic, please let me know why in the comment section. And if you want to think, or if you also agree with me that Perisic to Barcelona is a really smart move, is a really good thing for our depth, please also let me know in the comment section. And there is also news that Barcelona have currently reduced, they've given a fixed price as to the amount they intend to pay for Luis Diaz. Barcelona do not intend to go above 60 million euros for Luis Diaz. And I think that is the smartest. I still think that 60 million is expensive, though. I'm not going to lie. I still think 60 million for Luis Diaz is quite expensive. Also, Romeu is the only sad thing about Romeu's case for me right now is that no club whatsoever, no club is looking to sign him. No club is coming for him. That is the only thing that I'm having issues with about Romeu. And seeing he's willing to terminate his contract like that of Langley, I think it's a good thing on our finances as well. Also, Ansu Fati is having blockage with his signing or with his moving to Monaco because of the salary. Monaco says they do not intend to pay over 10 or 12. I don't blame them, fam. If they had the Ansu Fati that we had, that we were all praising, that we were all comparing to the life of Messi, they wouldn't be saying, see, football is unfair. Football is really, really unfair. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, Joan Garcia is likely to be reviewed. The jersey presentation is likely to happen anytime soon, between today and tomorrow. There is also the case of Stegen is also likely to leave, although Hansi Flick thinks or he believes that they do not owe him any apology. Of course, we do not owe Stegen any apology. We can decide to move on from him. We can decide to stick to him. But since the club has decided to move on from him, there is no reason for us to think we owe him any apology. There is no reason for him to think that we should explain to him or tell him, well, yes, maybe we do owe him an explanation, but to the rate or to the extent that he is looking at it, I don't think we should go that far. There is no point. We do not owe him any apology, considering the fact that he's been hurting us both on the field and also in the dressing room. So yeah, but Ter Stegen is also likely to leave. Hopefully he does. Araujo also, after his contract expires, there is the probability. See, at this point, the word probability, I hate it. Araujo, just go. Just I hate to talk about him, so I'm not going to talk about him. Also, Barcelona has decided not to go for any right back signing in the market, as we have my own one and only Eric Garcia as a backup for Jules Koundé. Of course, I used to tell you people that there is no reason for us to go for a right back. There is absolutely no reason. Jules Koundé has been perfect this season. He's been the best right back for us this season. And then in his absence, we saw what Eric Garcia did in that position. We saw the way he delivered. We saw the way he turned up. He scored. He assisted Yamal. I said something in the video I made concerning the heat that Lamine Yamal have been facing from people after the Nations League against Portugal. That game made me appreciate Eric Garcia and Jules Koundé the more because it was obvious that the major reason or one of the reasons why Lamine Yamal had a bad game in that match is probably, apart from the fact that probably mentally is not there, is also because he didn't have someone to play with. There was nobody to give him the overlapping runs. But see look at what Garcia did in the absence of Koundé, and he did it perfectly. So what's the point going for another right back? So Hansi Flick believes he wants to. There is no. I mean, he believes there's no reason to go for another right back. Of course, we have Jules Koundé, we have Eric Garcia that can always fit in that position, and they still intend to keep Hector Fort, who we all rely on, or who we all think is really, really going to be key for us next season. Hopefully, he picks up better form. But of course, I'm sure the club is still open if any offer comes in for him. They intend to let him go. But the saddest one that I'm not going to talk about now, I'm going to come back to talk about it, is the fact that Pablo Torre, if is likely to, you know, in the case of Gerard Martin, I can understand. Even though I still feel we should just loan Gerard Martin out. But Pablo Torre, why? Why? Pablo Torre, do you know how much of a ball carrier that boy is? What's the point? You know what? This Pablo Torre issue, I think I'll have to make a different video on that. But for now, this is just, I'm more concerned about this Perisic issue. Let me know what you think. Do you think we should, or do you think we should not? What are your reasons why you think he's a good signing, or what are your reasons why you think he's probably a bad signing for Barcelona? Of course, let me know all of this in the comment section, and please don't forget to like, share, and if you're new to this YouTube channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also turn on your notification so you can get to know whenever I post a video. My name still remains Ade. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. And as usual, Visca Barça, Visca El Catalunya. I love you guys so, so much.